And I pray, may the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be pleasing in your sight, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. Amen. So the text I want to focus in very briefly tonight are those words that you heard actually downstairs from Job. Let me remind you. Oh, that my words were written. Oh, that they were inscribed in a book. Oh, that with an iron pen and lead they were engraved in rock forever. For I know that my Redeemer lives, and at the last he will stand upon the earth. And after my skin has been thus destroyed, yet in my flesh I shall see God, whom I shall see for myself, and my eyes shall behold, and not another. My heart faints within me. So tonight, the church here waits. The readings move us through this long story of God's promises. The earth itself seems quiet, although tornadoes sometimes are a little louder. But it's in this stillness, in this night before the dawn. And into the stillness we hear these ancient words that Job said, "For I know that my Redeemer lives, and at the last he will stand upon the earth." Job didn't say these words in a kind and easy time. He was in the midst of immense suffering. Everything around him looked like death and loss. His body was failing, his friends were scolding him and not comforting him, his whole family was gone, the world around him was silent. And yet Job confesses something most astonishing: I know that my Redeemer lives. Notice that Job says this not after everything is fixed, not after the suffering ends. He says it while the earth is still waiting. This is the faith of the Easter Vigil. Tonight we stand in that quiet space between death and resurrection. Christ has been laid in the tomb, the stone is sealed, the world seems still. Creation itself is holding its breath tonight. But in that stillness, the promise already lives. Our Redeemer lives. Job trusted that one day God himself would stand upon the earth and defeat death. And tonight, we know how that promise was fulfilled. The Redeemer Job hoped for was crucified and was the risen Christ. The one who lay in the grave will once again stand upon the earth in all his glory. The one who died will rise. The loved one you're thinking of that is in heaven, you will see again. And because he lives, the stillness of the grave is not the end of the story. It is only the waiting before the dawn. This is the comfort God gives his people tonight. Even when the world seems silent, even when death appears to have been the final word, even when the earth itself seems still, the Redeemer lives. And because he lives, the earth will not remain in silence. The stone will roll away. The tomb will be empty. Christ will stand again on this earth. And so tonight, in this quiet vigil, the church confesses with Job and with all the saints, I know that my Redeemer lives. We will be still and know, and all God's people said,